Oh, what's up, y'all? Let me turn this down. Let me turn this up. Let me see what we got going on. It took me a minute to get this one set up for whatever reason. Happy Saturday. I hope it is a happy Saturday for you. Let me scroll through. Carlos was on early. He may have had to jump off. He offers, and we're going to talk a little bit about Reflux. He offers that straight up Fluconazole works better. And I've seen what that guy's doing, so I trust his opinion. However, I haven't used Fluconazole like straight up. Reflux looks to be, well, whatever. We'll get there, but that's sage advice. Worth paying attention to. We got Thomas. What's up, man? You got it on the big screen? That's a whole lot of Jimbo up on the TV. I don't know about all that. Rusty from the UK. Bruce, how are you, sir? Scotty. What's up? Yep, you were on early. Can't wait for these lights. We're going to talk a little bit about lights. Noop, whoop, whoop. We all know what that's about. What's up, Chris? Evan, how are you? Mr. Evans, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Oh, wait. Time to grab some booze before we get started. Pinky up this evening, fellas. Or peeps. Pinky up this evening. That was wrong of me. I haven't even made it through to see who's here yet. I can safely say that our audience is majority male, unfortunately. Oh, there's Lynn. We got to even things out. See, perfectly timed. Let's Chi-Town, how are you? Durzo. Don't know Durzo. Welcome. Filipino Reefer. Hi. Jay Lee is back. Mr. Burt is here. Cam. Good evening, sir. I'm going to say beta fresh. That's how I'm going to roll. What do you mean hype? We don't hype here. We talk data. No hype. This is a no hype zone. Sometimes it's hype, but not really, but a little bit. Evan Carr having the hardest time deciding between the Gen 5 Blue or Pro. Don't get sick over it, Evan. Tell me below what light you're running right now and how you're running it. We can all help you decide, because I absolutely have my preference. BC. Did I already make it down this far? Wait. Oh, no. A whole bunch of stuff skipped. Let's see. What up, Gabe? You are not too late. I am still rambling. We got Beta Fresh Gen 5 Pros over 270 gallon. It really comes down to what spectrum you prefer. Thomas, good evening. And it was a pleasure seeing you for 2 minutes at the closed Congressional Aquariums at 10 o'clock when they open at noon. But it was good seeing you. And it looks like those critters survived well. I grabbed a screenshot, so I'll do a post later. And we forgot the tubs. Totally forgot one. And we're going to talk fish later. I'm going to send you a text. You got a free brand, I'll assume new, Fluval M40 and waiting for shipment. Well, free doesn't suck. I'll say that. And Thomas, you're welcome for the beautiful corals. Oh, I owe you money. I gotta send you money. Hey, Dad. Another addition to my 40 breeder. Well, that's cool. Fluval M40. I gotta look that up. I agreed. Tried both, and always keep Fluconazole on hand. Agreed. So do I. Always have it. We got man love between my father and Bruce. Beta fresh. Us men have good taste. Hello. Oop, there's my mom. That's it. There's two women. Now they're gonna talk for a while, and maybe Bruce has Laura there, which would make three, but she's probably smart and not paying attention. Let's get to it. We're gonna talk about the Noopsyche or Sodom Noopspa, or we got to come up with a better name because I'm not sure I like Noop Noop Whoop Whoop. I suppose we could go Noop Noop Whoop Whoop. That's kind of funny. We're going to talk a little bit about the OG AquaKnight, which I've had for a really long time. We're going to talk Fluconazole. That was what was in the text of this video. We're also going to talk 6-volt, 1 RPM worm gear drive motors for forever dosing. This thing looks used. I suppose there's a pretty good chance that it is. I'm not sure. And then a little bit of keep my butt safe kind of business here with an Auto Aqua smart skimmer security that I'm so not going to use for a skimmer, but I don't think it really matters. All right. What do I got queued up? What do I... Oh. Oh. And Lynn's hooking. Looks like Thomas is getting a hookup. Semper Sea Coral's getting a hookup. That's pretty sweet. All right. That was an interesting stream right there. I'm not supposed to talk about that anymore. That was fun. All right. Chrome on. Pour one out for your homie, the Hydros. This is the Control 2. And I did move some tanks around. There's a freshwater tank upstairs now. The saltwater Pico is now downstairs with no controller or anything on it. My feet are cold. It's kind of air coming in this window is a little chilly. I'm generally a barefoot kind of fellow. So the Hydros is outside. I got to get it cleaned up. Got to get it wiped. Got to get it over to, I mean, if he's interested, get it over to DMV Reefer. Get it over to Juan. I think he's interested. I also think Coral View treats him nicely. So we'll see. Maybe he doesn't need it. OBS said I was... OBS said I disconnected, and that's unfortunate. We don't want that. All right, maybe that won't do that anymore. So I'm going to put this back over here. It looks like we're still going, so we're going to stick with it and hope for the best. How about that? Talking about a little shot action going on there. Hi, did you find a dosing head that would fit on the Apex dose? Yes, that's one of these slides. We're going to get there in just a second. Thanks, Gabe. I saw it drop out. Oh, there it is, Adam. So I am 99. I'm actually 100% certain. I am 99% certain that this head, which I have ordered in blue, it indicates white, but then the proprietor of that seller, I don't know how to say that. Proprietor of the organization that's providing these to both me and to Neptune, hit me up on email and said, "Yo, you want blue?" I was like, "Well, yeah." So I'm getting a 4-roller. Remember, the Neptune dose only has 2 rollers, and I was going to do something bad. The only way to make that worse is to have 1 roller, and I was going to use a different finger. So 2-roller peristaltic pumps. I mean, the BRS 1.1 ml is a 2-roller pump. It is not all that accurate. I mean, the more rollers, the more accuracy. Keep in mind that Neptune's charging $300 for a dose with 2 roller heads, which is kind of cheesy. They will fit the dose. Oh, and I own a dose, so I can talk ish. So there. I have 2 heads coming, and I have 2 of those bodies coming because I have an idea, and I'm going to investigate that idea. So what I really want to do, and if anybody's following me on Instagram, you saw my story asking what you're looking for in an automatic water change setup. I don't know that I can do it, but I happen to know a guy who kind of looks at a Raspberry Pi or any other microcontroller, kind of like they looked at the Matrix. He's just kind of can do that stuff really easy. So I was like, hey, can you do this? And I'm thinking about selling stuff as a kit. So And you know me, because if you're paying attention at all, you realize that I am super freaking cheap, and I'm not looking to make money off this stuff. I just want to make it easy for people. So, like all those AliExpress lights, I'm not making any money off of that stuff. I mean, I'm not making any money off of anything that I know of, other than maybe YouTube, which is not that much money. So, keep that in mind. That's what I'm looking to do. I don't know that I can do it. I am... that head is also the same head that would fit on a GHL Maxi that's no longer in production. There was... I'll piece this together all you want. There was that thing with one controller company that may have made it difficult for the Coral View control or the Hydros Control 2 and 4 to be sold at various establishments. And that company, who knows? I mean, both those big dosers use the same heads, and one of the companies using the heads ran into a little bit of a supply chain issue. So who knows? Whatever. I think I dig free markets. I dig competition, and there should be competition. So hopefully everybody gets their act together, and there can be some more competition, which I'm looking forward to. Hold on, I'm missing Thomas and his kid Donovan. What's up, Donovan? How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're having a cool Saturday. Yeah, see, X1. Yeah, the X1's a nice little pump. We talked about that a little bit, Gabe, where the X1 doesn't send notifications, so like I don't know when my juice is empty, that kind of thing. It has its problems, it has its software challenges, but it's still a cool little pump. Adam Rice, you need a link for this? Hit me up on Instagram. I can share that. Always excited for these live streams. What's up, Emmanuel? Thank you. Also need to try Angel's Envy Rye. I have not. I have too much. I don't drink a lot. I really don't. Like, this is the only time I drink. So I have way more booze than I have live streams. Maybe. I just need to live stream more, right? Ooh, Gabe, no, I want to see that. That's good. I'm excited for that. Hopefully, I'm going to go ahead and assume that I had absolutely nothing to do with that. And I'm excited to see that they are going to sell DIY kits for the Trident. Did they detail what those kits are? Because I am looking forward to that. I'd like to see that. Green Plaid ordered some Ali E bars today. Would be down for a Raspberry Pi auto water changer. Yeah, I think, as long as it's reliable and it doesn't put water on your floor, and I think that's, all right, Gabe, I'll look that up when I'm done here. That's cool. That's great to hear, because you need to be able to maintain those things. I would send you on DM me. It's on me. It's always help. That's super cool of you. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Past the pumps. Swift Spark, first time tuning in live. What's up? Welcome. If I keep reading chat, send in and you'll get yours back. A trade-in. And a DIY option. That's interesting. A send in and you get yours back. A trade-in and a DIY. Yeah, you might need a trade-in, Gabe. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? What up, Kay? You're not late. I've been dragging it. I figured you'd show up. You're not late. And thanks to you, I'm able to have this stream. All right. I've talked about this before, and I've certainly posted about it. But if you buy sodium, I use sodium nitrate because I find that my potassium's fine. It's actually quite elevated for my dosing. And I don't want to add any more potassium, so I don't get potassium nitrate. I get sodium nitrate because, seriously, salinity is really easy to manage in a tank that has like 90 gallons, what I'm using. So think about that. If you want to mix up your own nitrate, what was this? This is 2 pounds of sodium nitrate for $48.39, and that would last me at my current dose rate 909 days for $50. Compare that to the retail stuff, and you'll find this is an insane cost savings. I took a pound over and gave it to Moki because he's going to mix up some juice and play with that. So. All right, Gabe, we'll talk. Reef Flux. Fluconazole. This is 200 milligrams of fluconazole. I don't know that there's anything else in here. It only shows active ingredients as 200 milligrams of fluconazole. I'm going to have to assume that that's legit. I'll tell you what, it tells you how to dose. It tells you like 1 tablet for every 10 gallons. I always cut that in half. Fluconazole, as far as I know, is the only thing that works against bryopsis, which is this weird feathery-looking green hair algae-looking stuff that grows in your tank. And bryopsis sucks. And this works. Now, what people will mention, and Gabe did, if you scroll all the way back up, if you scroll up, or Carlos says, by the way, Reflux works good, but the real fluconazole works better. Having tried both. I had to watch the ALK and phosphates, ran Roaphos, so I didn't have any crazy phosphate jump. Man, I'm having a hard time reading. I'm a little dehydrated. So, cool. I'm going to keep an eye on my phosphates. Actually, I didn't test yesterday before I put the stuff in, and I should have. I'm auto-testing alkalinity, and so far I can see that this has absolutely no impact on alkalinity in the last 24 hours. However, it could, and I'm going to leave it in there for a while. I'm not gonna turn carbon on for maybe a week. And like I said, I half dose this stuff. I don't do the full dose because it just scares me. So I run half. Bryopsis is usually gone in a week, maybe a week and a half. So I'll give it 2 weeks before I do any carbon, turn that back on, and roll with. What up, Joe? Sorry, Bruce just jumped in and said Joe is there. Hey, dude, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's talk about those missions. So think about that. If you have fluconazole, people will say this also works against. I'm not saying it, but others you'll see, they say it may work against green hair algae. Others have used this successfully against bubble algae. I can't confirm that. I haven't seen that. That's not something I have experienced, but I absolutely know this works against bryopsis. So if you have some green hair looking stuff that's a little feathery and you don't know what it is, half dose this stuff, throw it in, give it a shot. Just like Carlos said, though, pay attention to your phosphates and watch your alkalinity. It may impact. Eyeballing that Proflux Mini and Ali E bars from a 65-gallon mixed reef with 3 AI Prime HDs. 65-gallon mixed reef with 3 AI Primes. Swift Sparks, you done some par readings with those? I would be interested in knowing what kind of readings you're getting across that tank with little AI Primes. That would be good information for me. Proflux Mini Wi-Fi, I have one. I like it. It is what will be supporting the little tank downstairs once I get everything cleaned up. And that's why the Coral View Hydros came off. I like that little mini. It has potential, man. That thing has mad potential if GHL wanted to push that little sucker a little bit. Currently, but they're focused on other things right now, aren't they? Currently starting a new build and was thinking about Apex, GHL, or Hydros. I wanted to go GHL, but everybody keeps talking me out of it instead of you. Yeah. You know my opinion. I am not a fan of Apex. It's a heavy hitter. It has good reach in the hobby. I think does a decent job of whatever. I'm just not a fan. Probably shouldn't get into those opinions too much, but I mean, I have 3 of them. One's broken, sort of. Sometimes it works. I really like the Apex Junior. That's a solid little device. Apex EL, a little flaky for me. Other people have a lot of success with those things. I've got 3 of those, and I have 2 GHLs. I've got the P4 and the Wi-Fi Mini, or the Mini Wi-Fi. So I prefer GHL. I prefer words instead of icons. I prefer the way the GHL isn't programmed, because like I said last week, an Apex is programmed and a GHL is configured. I just prefer how the GHL is configured. It's a simpler device for me to use. And I don't have to remember what those icons mean. Talked about this last week. I beat that up too much. But there's sadly there's no rent to own or whatever. You just got to jump in and pick. Either way, I mean, you know my preference. I don't know that you can go wrong. I just I appreciate good customer service, and I'm going to tell you right now, GHL has given me personally, by far, the best customer service, period. It took me 3 weeks to get Neptune to acknowledge that my Apex EL was in fact broken. What finally made that happen is they remoted in through my computer and were able to access the EL. And they said, yeah, it's broken. They said the power supply is bad and something's wrong with the pH probe. And I'm not sure that was legit because I changed the power supply. But whatever, maybe it's something inside the box. Here's where it gets a little rough for me. It was one of the BRS Apex ELs, one of the special edition ones that they released. Neptune gave me the RMA for that Apex, but would not replace it. They would not give me an EL from their stock. I had to contact BRS. BRS sold out of those Apex ELs, the special edition ones. So when I said I wanted another, they said, okay, and they sent me a used one. Generally, their customer service is top-notch. It just kind of pisses me off that I had a Neptune Apex that broke, and Neptune wouldn't replace it, that I had to go to the reseller. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's how it went down. Not making that up. I could show you the sticker on the box that was placed over the sticker that had already been cut because it was a used unit. Anyone talking you out of a GHL is, well, let's not go there, Jacob. So I will rephrase that. Anyone talking you out of going with GHL has an opinion other than yours, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, so there's that. No readings, just based off of BRS readings. I'm having shading with my acros. What did I mean? Yeah, dude, you need to. Yeah, hopefully you're dude. I apologize if you're not. If your corals are happy, then cool. Add some AliExpress bars, and they'll be happier. If you were to go with GHL, can I help you set it up? Yep, I will. I will absolutely do it. I don't charge money for help. I've seen that. That's weird. I've used Fluconazole from Thomas Labs, and it's definitely stronger than Reflux. Swift Sparks, what was the milligrams per capsule? I think that may be the difference, right? I mean, this is 200 milligrams. Let me know how many milligrams you got in that other stuff. Bert. Oh, Bert starts it with a question. I was like, what is the spectrum of crisp white light? I'm thinking, I can show you. Do I have it up here? I do. I can show you. So crisp white light, does that mean 5500 isn't sunlight? Isn't that closer to swell? Crisp, is that the bluey looking white, or is that the the nice looking white, because I can show you what. I can't move my camera, and I wish I could. Okay. The more you talk about Apex and these types of issues, the less I want to get one. Okay, don't listen to me. Hit up Carlos. Dude Brian in Frederick, another reefer that I know, his Apex broke, and I had to work with Neptune to get that thing replaced. I had to send it in. They did something and sent it back, and it worked. But he had that thing forever. It's like the first 2016, one of those first ones that came out that kind of sucked. Oh, can I show you? Wait, I'm going to do this real time. Please hold. All right, it looks like this. Let me move this out of the way and see if you can see it. Yeah, so Bert, I can send this to you, but this is generally what you see coming out of white lights. Those are, if you check out superbrightleds.com, they have these cool little bars. This is a white bar. I don't know the color temperature. Actually, does it tell me? I may be able to look. Interesting. Can I? Maybe. Does it give me Kelvin? This is 3930. So not, what did you say? You said 5500 or something like that? I may have a light, and I can show you that. But if you're looking for what does a spectrum of a white light look like, it looks like that. I hope that helps. So it's got this big, huge peak that's green, yellow, and all the way over to red. And then they generally have this big 450 blue spike. I don't know why, but that's usually what you see with white lights. I hope that helps. Neptune's chat about maintaining the Trident was interesting. The peristaltic pump that is inside the Trident that they claim is so top of the line looks very similar to one I have. Yeah, it's not. It's just a peristaltic. I'm sure you could find that on AliExpress. I'm absolutely certain you can. I haven't watched that thing work. I haven't taken one apart and watched it operate, but I understand the principles associated with it. But it would be cool to watch it happen. Thomas Lab Flucon came as bulk dry powder from eBay. Would really like to know, like, meg per liter or milligrams or whatever. Concentration, right? Because that matters. I mean, what's the concentration of that fluconazole? That's what I'm looking for. What's up, Chris? Yeah, Bert, I'll send that to you. Let's move on. Oh, so that's, yeah, Bert, so that's the white light that I just tested. That looks a little whiter than what I see with my old man eyes, but maybe that's actually what it looks like. This is I put up a thing. I wonder if I can show that. What if I do this? Can I go, remember the old days when I'd go, bam? Nope, that's not working. Bam. Oh, wait, if I do this, this will work. Bam. Nope, that's not working either. Well, jeesh. What if I put it over here? This is live. Okay. Can I take this? And I can do one of those, right? So I put this big cabinet there because I didn't have any storage in the craft room. And then I put the 3D printer in that doohickey to and then put some lights on it because 50-something-year-old people's eyeballs, they ain't that good. So I wanted to be able to see what I was printing. So I used these little short superbrightled.com lights, wired them in together, and now that whole cabinet is nice and bright, and it's awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that. It really doesn't take much. What's up, Taylor? The frag tank. Frag tank's looking good. I cut Thomas some of this, and I cut Thomas some of this, and I cut Thomas some of that. That's what he rolled out of here with today. I meant to give him some of this, but I forgot because I'm old. Everybody know what that is? That's finally growing. I don't understand why it's so expensive, because it's just another green acro with some fancy tips. Other than that, it's a slow grower, so I kind of get that. I think it's a little overhyped for what it is. I'm gonna sell cheap when it gets big enough, but that's a home wrecker. And it's kind of happy. It's doing okay. Lynn hooked me up with that. So I'm looking forward to sharing that thing. When you get a chance, no rush. Yeah, roger that. Send a video of the talk. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. Let's just get to it. This first K, thank you very much for sending this out. K's in the chat. K Alvarez. That was super cool of you to pull a light off your tank and send it to me while you and I watched it take a tour of the United States. Why it went to Illinois is beyond me. B, it was way smaller than I had anticipated. Now, I'm an idiot, and I should have realized how big it was when they were comparing it to the AI Hydra 32s. I can't remember if I've tested a 32. I kind of feel like I have. I think Thomas hooked me up with one and I tested it. But I didn't test it with how I do it now, so I don't pay attention to those results other than the par reading at spectrum 24 inches above a flat surface. But whatever. I like this. I like this light. I like this light for a couple reasons. First, it's pulling 71 watts. Which is decent. So 71 watts at spectrum means there's not too much white that I had to turn down to get to the spectrum. That means there's a hell of a lot of blue coming out of this little bugger for the price, right? This is a $155 light. Just the light. You still need to buy this thing, which I'm okay with. This is the remote, and this is how you control the thing. When you push, it's rechargeable. And apparently it's dead, but so that's why you got to keep it plugged in. I wonder if you can replace a little lithium-ion batteries in here. This is the only way really to control that light. So keep that in mind. This is something you would have to buy if that's what you're interested in. But this light had as good of spread as a Radeon XR30. When BRS tested it. I think theirs was 75 or 78, whatever. This thing's 74% spread. It's pretty good. I was impressed with this. It had a solid. This is not UV. Don't tell me it's UV. It's not UV. And don't let them tell you it's UV. It's not UV. The controller can be used for more than one. That's correct, and it can control up to 16 of these. Lynn's mentioning that in chat. This light has a solid 406 nanometer peak and a solid 450 nanometer peak with a little bit of a 470 sledding hill right here. That bump out you see is legit. There is 470 in this light. If I bought this for a 40 breeder, I would at least buy 3. My preference would be 6. But if I bought 3 of these and 2 AliExpress bars, custom ones, with a 430 and a 470 nanometer every other, 3 of these, 2 AliExpress bars, and you're growing any coral you want. And the color is going to be awesome because you have the right spectrum, you have decent par, and you're going to be good. You mount this thing, I would mount it 6 inches above the tank because the spread is so good. You can afford to lower it, and it's very much like a Kessel. Kessel's 6 to 8 inches, I think, is generally accepted. That's what I would do. I don't want to say generally accepted. That's what I would do. I'd mount this thing 6 inches above the water. Ooh, that was a little bit of dinner. And 3 of these over 40 breeder, 2 AliExpress bars, 24 inches. Right, those are going to be, they're what, $45 stock. If you get customs, that's going to be 60, so $120 plus 3 times 155 plus the mounts. If you so choose, you don't necessarily need to do it. If you buy 3, you can put them on a bar of extruded aluminum, and 1 remote for however much that thing costs. It was in here. $57 for the remote. So seriously, you could light a big tank with a whole lot of beautiful corals for a relatively inexpensive price. I will say, now I like that little night crew light. A couple things I like about this. This is smaller. The wattage is similar at Spectrum, and it is not a copycat light, so it doesn't look like an XR30 like the night crew does. And the night crew's got these huge pucks. That is a less expensive light. That's a $125 light, and it is neck and neck with this thing in terms of spectrum, spread, and par. So you could kind of go either way. That light comes with a mount, and it doesn't need a remote because it's got buttons on it. It's a little dumb. If you want a little fancier light that has a little decent control, that I would buy over the night crew. Like I said, 3 of these. I like it. I didn't know if I was going to like it because it was small and I don't know. And then when I tested it, I was like, oh, it's okay. Remember that those par readings are 24 inches dry, 24 inches underneath the light, checking with a par meter. It is not an MQ510. It's an MQ500, so it does not include the multiplier that other people may be testing lights with and giving you false readings. These are legitimate par readings. And if you mounted this, like I said, 6 inches over an 18-inch tank, you would have probably, I'm just guessing, homie don't have Beer's Law in my head, I'm guessing 80-ish par at the sand bed. And then, higher par from there. So you put this on, you put acros up on the rock work, your water's good, your dosing's good, your water change schedule's good. These lights, like other people are experiencing, I give it a thumbs up. I like it. I think it was super cool. What was even cooler, and I've already mentioned it, Kay hooked me up. Acro breeder, I would say glass. Glass or acrylic lens. Doesn't matter, acro breeder. It's plastic. Doesn't matter at all. Why are you asking? I like this light. I just want to see how it tests over time. Lynn, other people have been running these for a long time. There's a whole bunch of people that have hit me up on Instagram, and they're like, I've been running that for years. Dude in Italy, Reef Pizza's running like a whole bunch of these over top of a tank, and he loves them. Lynn, I'd buy this over the Red Sea 90 all day long. Even though the Red Sea 90, that's a 100-watt light, 20 more watts in this thing. I like this one Spectrum better. This is a sweet little light if you want. If you're how long? I don't know. You just got to ask all these users. I can't answer that. That's not. I'm not going to go there. You know, I haven't run this light long enough to be able to say it myself. Hey, Kay, how long you had this light? Yeah, like how long's the K7 Pro 2 been out? That's also a good question. I dig it. See, I hit you low, Lynn. I know that. I'm sorry, I hit you low. Did I say hey, Chris? I think maybe I did. I said hey to Taylor. Yeah, seriously, Kay, that was cool of you to hook me up. I'll send it back. I think I'm done with it. Oh, you wanted me to do something to it. Maybe I can get it in the laser. I'm not sure. Yeah, up to 16 lights. Program 2 different sets of lights in case you want different spectrum, different tanks. Agreed. They are totally plastic. Sure feels like it. My AI burned holes under the UV LEDs. AquaBreeder, your AI light does not have UV. There's no UV coming out of an AI light. It's visible. That's heat. That's poor heat dissipation. AI will tell you it has UV, just like this says it has UV, just like an Ecotech says it has UV, and they don't. They're all 400 nanometers or above. All of them are at least, I mean, this one has 406, which is pretty low. Ecotech has 410. AI lights are all above 400 nanometers. Yeah, not UV. That's just heat dissipation. That's why it cooked. What up, Jake? Doesn't Viper Spectra have better spectrum than this? It has a different spectrum than this. And it's huge. It's a different light. I put Viper Spectra in a different class, right? That light's cooking right around 90 watts. I'd have to go back and look at my data. Actually, I can look that up real quick. I don't know that you see this. Viper Spectra is pulling... Oh, how come I don't have it in here? What the crap is that? I always have it in here. That was 100% blue. What the Viper Spectra has is entirely too much white. So you could take the whites down to 1%, and it's still just too much. I remember the Viper Spectra. Oh, no, the Viper Spectra was 70 watts. That's what it was. I remember because BRS was talking about how the little heat sink was insufficient and blah, blah, and it was actually only pulling 70 watts. Is the Viper Spectra's spectrum better than this? No. I'm going to say no. This has better control of the whites. Remember, the Viper Spectra is only blue and white channels. There's only 2 adjustments. This goes down to 406 nanometers, so it covers violet really well. And, I mean, this is a little more money. If you're into this light, the light itself is more money, and the remote that you'll need to operate this light is an additional cost. It's a first cost thing. You don't need to pay for it anymore after that. The more lights you add, up to 16, you're covered with that single remote, so there's that. This is a different class light. This is if a Viper Spectra is a perfectly adequate 70% light, I call this 85. It's just a little more control, a little more refined, a lot better spread at about the same wattage. So I would go with this. 8 months. Well, now I want to buy one and just run the damn thing and see how long it lasts. Yeah, UV-ish. Or violet. Jake, you didn't miss anything. We just talked a whole bunch of schmack. We didn't talk about you at all. What up, Kevin? Yeah, so technically, would you recommend 2 of these or 6 for a 40 breeder? I would start with, it depends on budget. If you got the budget, 6. Period. Absolutely no question. 6 of these. Side by side. Like, this is the width of the tank, right? Not the width. This is whatever. I put 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. Absolutely, I would run 6. If it's a budget thing, then 3 of these and 2 AliExpress bars. Sorry, late. What up, Evan? It's a new build planning to be SPS dominant. 24, 18, 16. Okay, it's shallow. It's 18 like deep and 16 this way. I'm thinking about going with XR15 Pro and adding 2 Ali bars. You won't get freaky? You get freaky with an XR15 and then 2 of these, and you might not need the AliExpress bars. And it would look cooler, Evan. Think about it. But an XR15 with 2 AliExpress bars would also work, and that's cheaper. I'm not happy with AI. I contacted them, and a user expected to pay to replace the acrylic every 2 years. You on Instagram? Send me a picture of that. I want to see it. Is it the lens? It's the lens assembly that sits over top of the LEDs? Evan Carr, just worried that you're going to be turning down the whites. I have 5, 6 fixtures, lots of work and expense for not cheap light. Acrobrator. I have 5 fixtures, lots of work and expense for not cheap. Yeah, that's not cool. That sucks. Not cool. It's a cooling thing. It's absolutely a cooling thing. That's a design issue. Selling my Trident for a KH Guardian. There it is. That's a good move. Yeah, Lynn likes that thing a lot. My issue with the KH Guardian, who sells them? Like, where do you buy them? Because I think they got a decent product, and they just don't have distribution like you would hope they would. And if you can get them direct, cool. I think it's just interesting that they don't have a big enough presence out there, because I think it's a decent device based on someone whose opinion I trust. But she can speak to that, not me. Plastic peat that's covering the lens itself. Huh. That's not cool. That's the lens assembly. The lens assembly shouldn't... yeah, so it's the frosted acrylic across the top, but each individual lens has its own little lensy clear thingy, right? Another reason to like this light, because it doesn't have individual lenses. It just has that big, goofy Kessel-looking spreader light lens thing that works really well, which is also another reason why I like the Mitris. There are no lenses on the Mitris. They are raw LEDs. They're not focused. They're not moved. They're not spread. They're not anything. It's just LEDs. They have a reflector behind them. That's it. You have to contact Alex Lynn. Yeah, they do sell to stores, but not a lot of stores bring them in. Yeah, that sucks, Lynn. Don't you think? I mean, that kind of sucks. It's too bad they don't have distribution. One person. See, one person buys an island, right? They make enough money on their KH Guardians and they buy an island. Then what? But I know Lynn speaks very highly of that device. Spectrum. I think I showed it. I just want to make sure that I cover it again. 450 nanometer, 406 nanometer, 660 bump where it should be. I set the settings at 100, 100. Where is it? 100. Oh, 25 white, 100, 100, 100. So this one here, this is fake UV. It's not really UV. They say it's UV, but it's 406 nanometers, like the AI, which is probably 410, like Ecotech. And then 60% red, and that's red-green. So that's why you see this bump here, and you see that bump there. I was cool with this. I thought the color looked pretty good. Was there something else? Oh, yeah, this is breakdown. So price of this thing, $155. Price of this thing, $30 for that mount, which you could, if you're doing multiple. If you watch Reef Bum, if you watch Keith and how he mounted up his Mitris over his tank, which is freaking beautiful. There's 6 Mitris hanging over his tank. Take a look at that, because if you bought 6 of these, that's exactly what I would do. I think it would look pretty sweet. And then a remote control that you need. This is a must-have. Got to have that thing. I understand what you were saying, but what about the arm? Oh, we got to talk about arm hair. We got to talk about that. Yeah, totally, Lynn. I agree with that too. Graham, who is he's a local guy, Baltimore guy, north of Baltimore, is an engineer, and he grows amazing corals. And his opinion matters as well. He's not big in social. He doesn't have to be. dude can grow some corals. I don't know how you hit him up when you're not local. Like he shows up at a WAMAS meeting here. But yeah, that does say something to me. Max ordered his Cage D. Cage G. See, I went the wrong way from Alex and got it to me maybe 3 or 4 days. I was amazed. Since it's shipped from Taiwan. Yeah, that's like Apple products, right? They just come over real quick. The price of the Cage Guardian is on point. $505 with double junction pH probe for better accuracy. Jake, that should be common. That should not be a thing we should automatically assume, or we should automatically expect all pH probes to be double junction. I wouldn't buy a single junction pH probe, and they should just get rid of that model. For an extra $25, you should get the double junction. Faster than PRS shipping. All right, cool. Thanks for the picture. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good device. Works well. AquaKnight. I haven't published it this. I didn't put these on Instagram yet. Way back when Moki did his $146 budget Reef tank, this is the light he got. I ordered one at the same time because I want to check it out. I want to see what it had going on. I think I had it over the Pico at one point. In fact, I know I did because it has discolored the anodized aluminum has discolored a little bit. This light is not the same as this light. These lights are way different lights. This light is half the wattage. And I'll share the spectrum later on Instagram. It's actually a very similar spectrum. It's a low blue, it's a 450, and a white. That's what this thing's spitting out. And I mean, you can see it. You can see it in the diodes there. But it's a way different light, way different price point. It has a really good spectrum for what it is. I'll say decent spectrum for what it is. That's why I can grow corals, especially softies, but really low power. Like really low power. I'll take you back. Average par 80, average par 21 with a 68 spread, which is very similar to the Viper Spectra. So super low par at 24 inches, 30 watt light. Put this thing over a Pico where it's really low because it comes with this little mount. I mean, it doesn't suck. It's kind of okay, but don't expect a whole lot out of this. Don't put this over a 20-gallon tank and expect something to happen. But it hasn't broken. Things worked for a long time. Shipping a Cage Guardian from Texas. Good. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool I'm cool with competition, right? The more competition we have, the better we are. The better distribution we have for a Cage Guardian, the more competition we would see in the market. And that's good. I'm down. The users are down with competition, right? Algae scrubber one of my tanks after dosing fiber for 4 weeks, and the algae in there looked like, ew. Probably smelled like it too. All right, look, that's all I had. We really need to talk about this. This is really important. So turns out last week when I shared how arm hair removed nitrates from the tank, people actually took that seriously. I mean, I laughed at everything. I just rolled into it, and I started laughing, and then I just kept going with it. And it turns out unsuspecting reefers, some who have been doing this for a while, talk to other people, and they're like, wait, is that arm hair shit for reals? No. It's not for reals. And when I was asked during the stream if it was for reals, I freaking lost my mind and then rolled right into it how it's totally real and you need one of those fancy gloves, right? Not real. Arm hair. If I have performed a disservice to the reefing community, I apologize. I really don't apologize because I thought it was kind of funny. Did it on the fly. I thought it was good. It's not real. Should I apologize? I don't think I should. Oh, I do have 2 more things to talk about. TCK Corals only uses Sodom Noopsyche on their coral farm. All right, I'm about to look that up, Jake. I have an opinion about that. What up, OG DMV? But yeah, so... yeah, hey, okay, I did not... and I should have posted that video. I should have posted the nail clippings in the calcium reactor because... oh, hey, Adrian, how are you, sir? Glad you're here. Some people, whatever. That was enjoyable. That was a fun stream. I should do that more often. And people thought that was real. Oh my God, my tank would have no nutrients. Rather than that, Thomas is a Sasquatch. That's what I gather from that. 2 types of people in the world. Sweater wearing mofos or non-sweater wearing mofos. I classify myself as non-sweater wearing. What do we think? There's not much going on. Not a lot of, but not a lot here. My BRS 1.1, just like all BRS 1.1s, ship with an AC motor that turns really close to 1 RPM, 1 revolution per minute. So what I have decided to do is replace, like I've already done this once with the one that can drive faster than 1 RPM. What I've decided to do is take this 6-volt, 1 RPM, pull out the AC motor that sometimes makes noise, because it's really not intended to be continuous duty, although you can kind of do it, but sometimes it starts making noise and it sounds really loud. So what I'm doing to do is put this 6-volt worm gear drive motor, high torque, although not needed, turning at 1 RPM for consistent Kalkwasser dosing. So this little thing was cheap. It's easy enough to swap out. This little keyway isn't the right size, but I don't care. And then I hot glue this son of a gun inside the housing, and it stays there, and it works perfectly. So that's my next pump modification. I just want to make sure that I'm getting consistent Kalkwasser dosing while I am logging my alkalinity with the KHD, with the GHL KH director. I'm really paying attention to that because I need super consistent Kalkwasser dosing. I need the KHD with the doser and the doser 2.1 to manage my alkalinity so I can keep my alkalinity right at 8 so that when I do some of these things that may or may not impact alkalinity, then I'm able to see that impact, right? So changing the intensity of lights, what is the impact? We should know that the increasing PAR will absolutely, if your coral are healthy and your water's good, it's going to lower the alkalinity in your tank. And I want to be able to capture that and record it and show how that works. And with the KH director and the doser automatically adjusting its dose to manage alkalinity, I want to be able to do that. I want to show that data. Because we make these changes in our tanks, right? I mean, I do the same thing, and like 3 months later, something's different. You're like, damn, I can't remember what I did 3 months ago unless I wrote it down. And that's nice to be able to have that data. I think the bigger companies like Neptune, GHL give more of a kickback to resellers like BRS and Marine Depot. That is 100% accurate. The KH Guardian is, right, it's direct. It's being smaller company, cannot compete with that type of business. Yeah, totally. So KH Guardian is selling direct to customers, right? They don't have a distribution channel. There's not people taking money from their from the sale of that thing, and they can probably move that thing cheaper. Same reason why we buy AliExpress bars direct from the manufacturer on AliExpress instead of going to Reef breeders. I mean, you can go to Reef Breeders. It's the same bar, and they're getting custom lights. Or you can just go to the manufacturer and cut out the middleman. You get rid of the middleman, stuff gets cheaper. Only one person selling a device. I mean, what happens if it breaks? It looks like it's repairable, which is cool. But what happens if there's no longer support or whatever? That's where I get a little tripped up. I think that's probably an unfounded. It's absolutely an unfounded fear. As long as the device is maintainable, then so be it. You should be good to go, right? Really, those devices are so simple. As long as the pumps work and the pH probes are good. How does the KH Guardian blend? How does it mix the fluid? I think GHL had their challenges as BRS just took them in last week. It was a couple weeks ago, right? It was before Christmas when you could buy GHL stuff from Bulk Reef Supply. Whatever made that happen, made it happen, and that's cool. I have a couple ideas. I have personal ideas. I don't think it's fair that I share them, but I have an opinion. Any negative effects of running a UV sterilizer 24/7? BRS did a really good comparison of flow rates with their UV sterilizer. I think it all depends on... No, so probably not. Any bacteria that are in a water column shouldn't be there to begin with. They should theoretically be anaerobic, so in the rocks or in the sand. I think. Somebody who's smarter than me, please correct me. But there should be no ill effects. What I would ask is that you go check out that BRS episode on flow rates. What are you trying to kill? Are you going after algae or are you going after bacteria? What tank depth would max out the Sodom Noopsyche? 24 inches. I wouldn't go any further than 24 inches. I think 18 inches with this light is the sweet spot. But I certainly wouldn't go 24 inches. If it is a 24-inch tank and you're lighting it with these things, then I would have decent rockscape to place corals. This will grow mushrooms and whatever on the sand bed, but you're going to need rockscape for anything other than that. That's an opinion. Take that for what that's worth. Can't wait for the new Calxatronic. Bert's trying to be funny. You talk about the Mastertronic? Because I'm looking forward to that too. I want to see how that goes. What's up with the DIY auto water change pumps? We talked about that, Jake. I ordered 2 complete assembly pumps and 2 pump heads, and I'm fixing to do some playing. There's a couple of us out there goofing off with Raspberry Pis, and I don't know. Buddy of mine and I were talking. We're talking touchscreens, and we're talking Raspberry Pi, and we're talking simple, and we're talking calibrated pumps. Kind of how Ecotech is doing it with their pumps. They're all time-based. So if you calibrate the pumps and you run it off of timers, then you can remove and add the correct amount of water every time. So that's what I'm thinking about playing with. I think there needs to be a reasonably priced, all-in-one water change, auto water change solution. And I don't know that one exists. One used to when GHL had the Maxi before supply chain issues drove that thing out of manufacturing. A Maxi standalone could do its own water change. Nobody else had that. Comor is going to play with one, but it's surprisingly expensive, and it's not available in the U.S. yet. You can look that thing up. I think there needs to be a reasonable auto water change pump set that makes sense for budget reefers. So I want to play with it, right? I haven't sold anything. I haven't shared any kits, and y'all know I'm not trying to make money doing this. I just want to make it available. Yeah, Manuel, I wouldn't call it scary. I would just call it something worth noting. I mean, it's a really good price and it's a functional unit, right? So I think the Cage Guardian, based on opinions from others that I know, is a good device. So if you are comfortable with that and you're comfortable with maintaining stuff your own, then it's a magnetic stir. So it's a magnetic stir like um, the unicorn. Huh, interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think I'm okay with it. Is there an inspection process for that pill? Because that thing is plastic coated and it's I mean it's a wear part. It's making contact with the bottom of the whatever container it's in. I just wonder if we consider that a wear part. Cage Guardian is a partnership, but I think Alex is a contact for US. Got it. I got one to beat dinos and Jeff just left it on. Yeah, leave it on. You don't have to run it if your dinos have been beat. Then maybe you don't need to run it 24/7 because you're just going to be burning out the bulb anyway. I mean, maybe you run it 12 hours a day. Maybe you fiddle with it. Maybe you test it and you see how it works. You think the other partners are in China, where the yeah, that makes sense. If there is a solid support organization, it doesn't bother me at all. If Alex is cool, maybe Alex needs to come on the stream. Maybe we need to talk to Alex. And if Alex this is what he's going to do for the rest of his life, or if he has a decent plan for handing that maintenance and support down, then cool. I'm cool with it. I mean, any company can go out of business, right? Neptune can go out of business. They can be like, screw y'all. We made enough. Our Lamborghinis are not going to go park themselves, so we're going to go take care of that. And we bought an island. Peace out. Then then they're gone. And then what support you going to have? Same goes for any company. Cage Guardian has a recirc pump to mix the testing solution. So it's not a magnetic stir, it's a recirc. Is that right? It has a magnetic stir. I know that the Trident has a magnetic stir, which I'm not sure I'm cool with. And a Cage Guardian has a recirc pump, which I'm absolutely cool with. I'm growing a WD on a rock with the Noops. Yep, I'm certain you are. I'm certain that light will do it. Do I use char? Adrian Mitchell, do I use that weird charcoal stuff? Is that what you're asking? Oh, Chaeto. Yeah, I totally grow Chaeto. I have a Fuge. It's a 5.5 gallon. It will grow Chaeto, and then sometimes the Chaeto dies, and then the Chaeto comes back, and I haven't figured out what makes that happen yet. But right now, we are absolutely Chaeto happy. I use a $60 Jabo to do an auto water change. Been doing it for years. How are you getting the water out? And are you doing it with float switches? Tell me how you do it. See, I like doing auto water changes, like with the Apex Junior and the Dose, which I hate because it's loud, but it works. I just tell it to change this much water every day, and it will slowly take it out, and it'll slowly put it back in. And because I'm also doing automatic alkalinity testing, it puts in a little more, like the amount that I'm taking out from my alkalinity testing. So that all makes sense to me, Jake Birch. You need to just message Alex Lynn and talk to him about the Cage Guardian. He is very nice. I'm totally... Okay. All right, Jake. I believe it. I'm not bashing that thing at all. I think all y'all, it would be cool to have them on the stream. All right. Oh, cool. Calcium Guardian and Phosphate Guardian coming soon. It'd be nice if they were the same. Phosphate. Hold up. He's chasing phosphate? Is that accurate? Because that's hard. So really, really interested in that. That is the one thing, that is the hardest thing as far as I understand, to automatically test. Is he doing that with pH? Because that'd be interesting. I would like your opinion on the weird char stuff. I have no opinion. I have no direct opinion, Lynn. I see the hype. It's marketed such that whatever, it's weird wood charcoal, right? It's like charcoal that's in my fireplace. I don't have any direct opinions other than it's weird looking charcoal, and it's marketed as a bacterial colonizing substrate when the charcoal is spent, which is a weird way of saying bacteria grows in my ish when it doesn't do its intended job, or when it's done doing its intended job, like all charcoal does, which makes it no different than any other charcoal. The pH raising properties of said campfire charcoal. Let's see it. Show me the data. I want to see legit user data that actually, with no other changes to the system. I want to see that happen. I challenge that. Show me. I'll believe you should show me. How do you get the Chaeto to rotate, or is it stagnant? Adrian, mine just chills in the tank. Water comes from my sump and pumps into the 5.5. There is two power heads. There are two power heads in that tank. Maybe moving water when they're not clogged up with Chaeto. And then that overflows. It's just a gravity drain down to my frag tank. So the water that the frag tank, the new water that the frag tank gets is Chaeto water. That's also that fuge that has that Chaeto in it is also where I dose the majority of the fluids in my system. That way it's all blended up into water when it makes it down into the frag tank. And that seems to work really well. Acro breeder, program at 300 milliliters out at 12 a.m. on one head. 3,000 mils, 3 liters. 3 liters in at 2 a.m. on the other head. Show me a picture. I want to see. That's cool. What I do is I remove water from the fuge and I put water in the frag tank. So water that would gravity drain from the fuge into the frag tank is removed and it's dripped. It's a very slow drip throughout the day. I do auto water changes all day long, every day. It's a very constant thing. It's super stable that way. I don't see the impact of the auto water change in my on anything, pH or anything. Things are that hype like that worries me. Agreed. And a whole lot of, I saw it locally, right? A whole lot of East Coast people were like, damn, it's the best thing ever. But they had never used it. Makes no sense. If your Cage Guardian breaks, all parts are available, and there's YouTube videos. Well, I like that. You ain't got to sell me, Jake. I'm down. Sounds like magic. I agree. The char stuff sounds like magic. Feed the saltwater 30 feet away, to and from. All right. 60 feet. Why can't I read? Phosphate Guardian. Really interested in that. No data, just some people have said it does. Yeah, that's what they do. I saw Aficionado was going to play with it. Then I saw other people commenting, but I have no idea if it's legit or not. So I don't want to talk about that. Alex will fix your Cage Guardian for just the price of parts. I was about to buy a used one. He told me I could send it to him for it to be... See, I like that. He's trying. I would like to know how many units he's moving a year. That'd be pretty interesting. That's cool. There should be some distribution. I'm going to look at that later, Jake. Should you do water changes if you are on a septic? That I don't know. Interesting. Also, all right. What else I got? This thing. I needed a safety device for the tank level. So this thing had mixed reviews, so I'm going to play with it. This is the Auto Aqua Smart Skimmer Security, but also known as the Smart Auto Level or Smart Level. So if I just put this, if this is tripped, then this thing will power off. And that is all I needed to do. Because remember, I've talked about this before. My tank's not drilled. I'm using a hang on the back overflow. I have the kludgiest junk system you have ever seen that is super prone to failure. And I have float switches and optical sensors installed in the tank in multiple locations to make sure I don't overflow the 3 tanks. Because I could. So this is just another little safety device that I'm going to play with. I have talked about these with other people, but I've never used one. So since I've talked about it, I thought maybe I should pick one up and play with it and see how it works. All right, Jake, when you get a thing in, I want to know how you know when to replace the peristaltic tubing, that kind of stuff. All of that. I would like to see. I watch Moki's Alcatronic. I have access to that, so I see the alerts. I see that it told him to change the tubing, that it said to calibrate the pumps. It has a really good identification. So I'm watching his Alcatronic operate, and then I'm also watching my Cage D, the Cage director from GHL, operate. I would love to be able to see a Cage Guardian operate. Somebody hook me up. Is there an app? Is that how you see it? Lynn, you have an app? Hook a brother up. Send me your business. I need that from our skimmer. Yeah, this thing had mixed reviews with skimmers. I don't know how it handles bubbles, but we're going to find out. Interesting magnetic optical something. This is just an eye, so you got to keep this clean. So it's not like ultrasonic or something funky. No on salt water into the septic. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Gabe, can you do a dog? What are you asking me, Gabe? I mean, I could show you where this is. All this is doing is stopping my return pump. Right now I've got a float switch in there that I don't trust. So all I'm going to do is plug this into the controller, which is actually the Reef Keeper right now, and I'm going to hook this, and I'm going to plug my return pump into this, and then I'm going to hang this where it can see water level, and if it gets too high, then the pump's going to turn off. That's the goal. That's all I'm going to do. That sucks. So you can only look at it locally, Daniel? Oh, so you can't see. Oh. You can't see it. You can't see it when you're not at home. Is that accurate, or you just got a remote in? So you remote into a computer. You VNC into a home computer to be able to see the Cage Guardian. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, whatever. Dump it in the driveway for the winter. There you go. It's public, not private. It's on the other side of the firewall? You put it on the other side of, like, DMZ? Not DMZ. Yeah, DMZ? Interesting. I'll have to look. It's public, not private. So you can see it? No, you just type the IP into your browser. While you're away from home? Or you open up a port. So you got to be a little techie to pull this off? Or the instructions are super simple? Yeah, okay. Lynn, hit me up later. There's an API. See, I thought eCoral could see them. Is that right? Cage Guardian shows up on Apex dashboard. Port 40 Cage Guardian, but not a computer savvy. Yeah, so what I would do is I would just stick that thing on my private network, 192.168, whatever your thing is, and then I would have a computer at home on VNC and just remote in with my phone and look at it. Unless there's an easier way. That's how I see my Reef Keeper. I remote into a computer through VNC and can see what the Reef Keeper's showing me. That's what I've always done. Yeah, Emmanuel, I can. You can share GHL viewing permissions through GHL. Yep, that's possible. All right, I'm done. Holy crap, it's 9 o'clock. I'm out, people. What are y'all doing? Who's still here? What kind of people we got hanging out here? Let me look real quick. That's pretty steady. Huh. All right. Shout outs. This is first. Thank you, Kay, for sending me that light because that was kick ass. That was super cool of you to offer up. There's going to be a little something for you in the box on the way back. Look for that. You can plug it in your P4. It has an add-on report to the BNC. It reads at 50 pH. So, Max, I would have to add another PA. I'd have to add another BNC, or I'd have to use my ORP BNC, which I really don't care about anyway. That kind of thing. Yeah, so legit, okay, in your U.S. Postal Service box that went and made a trip around the U.S. with your $15.05 shipping. Thank you very much. What just happened? What just turned on? Something just happened. Wonder what that was. Everybody who's talking about Cage Guardian and how to do it and what you got going on, and anybody who likes sharing what they got going on, thank you very much. I appreciate that input. I like learning from your experience. I think that's the way to do it. Emmanuel, don't forget to DM me. No, DM me, because I'll forget. Bruh, DM me. Send it to me. Tell me why I'm DMing you, too. I don't remember. Oh, that blocked you, too. That's not cool. Show. Thanks, Jake. I look forward to it. Look, I hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be an interesting week. I don't normally talk about specifics too much, but I did post, and I think Lynn may have seen it on Facebook, but we passed 400,000 deaths today, early this morning. And that's not cool, right? That's like the whole population of Tampa, Florida. Psst, Thanos, gone. So I don't normally push it. I have an opinion about a mask. Wear it. You're not losing your constitutional rights if you wear a mask. You're just being inconvenienced. Try being shipped off to another country and doing your job there without having any say, which I was cool to do. But whatever. I try not to get too political, but it bothers me. It bothers me that like everybody in Tampa gone. So think about it. I hope your families are safe. Stay safe, please. I mean, it's still a thing. It's still floating around. It's still legit. It's worse, maybe, arguably, than it has ever been. So do what you can to protect yourself and your family, please, because a friend of mine is no longer here because of it. It's a real thing. So, Buzzkill Saturday. Stay safe. Okay? Cool. Happy reefing. And be kind, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Now I got to find the damn turn off button. Please hold. That's the wrong one. Okay, bye.